There's a very dear thing about it, it's little hooves on the bottom which I made. It makes my heart swell. Some of you are so funny. Can I just say that? Some of you are so funny. So I'm going to do a little kitchen thing. I haven't forgotten about the horse's hooves. I got it shipped to my flea market. Hoisin chicken with a celery salad. Hello, hello. Today is Monday. It is cooler today in the UK. In fact, it's sort of hazy sunshine, maybe even slightly cloudy. I actually don't mind that. It's been so hot. It's just been insane. I had such a lovely time last week. You saw the videos. I know, and thank you so much for your lovely comments. Lyme Regis, just incredibly beautiful. I was really surprised. I mean, I knew it was lovely, but I had no idea of the extent of the loveliness, and the Savoy was such a joy. But let me just tell you what happened on the way back. Okay, so you may or may not know this about me, but under normal circumstances, I am absolutely, almost borderline unhinged about leaving ridiculous amounts of time to get somewhere if I have to catch something. So like a train or a coach or a bus or whatever, not so much a bus, but if it's a coach thing, I want to be at that station probably half an hour before, so I will leave a huge amount of time. Also because when you're getting the coach back from London to Somerset, there are very few options. The 6:15 coach is it. There are only two anyway, but the 6:15 is the last one. So I did leave time. Anyway, it was really great. So we had been in the American bar. So I'd had drinks. I'd had some fizz with my afternoon tea, and then I'd had just a vodka, lime and soda in the American bar. So I was just feeling very, very relaxed, which is why I wasn't militant about leaving sooner. Anyway, as soon as I hit the underground, it was like, you get the board, services cancelled, services severely delayed, you're not going home tonight. That's basically what it said. So I started to try on the journey to get home, just in the normal tube that I would have got. But I stood on the platform. When I say the platform, okay, first of all, understand it's completely rammed. You can barely move. You're underground. The heat was unbelievable, because I think it was 32 degrees in London that day. And I thought, right, this isn't happening. Find another tube. Went even deeper, even more miserable. Waited for this tube, and it said 12-minute wait. And I was looking at my watch, and I was thinking, I'm not going to make it. So then I thought, right, because what I couldn't bear to be is to try and get somewhere and just fail. So I thought, right, let's bail out now, because it wasn't going to happen. Just literally wasn't going to happen. Let's bail out now, get out, try and get a train. Anyway, this is a very boring story, but literally everything was cancelled. So I had to wait for about 3 hours. It's the expense, and it's all horrific. When the self-pity is literally off the chart, I could have cried. My face was like a tomato. I was still wearing my uncomfortable shoes, because in the haste and the sort of frenzy, I didn't even change my shoes, so my feet were giant. But eventually I got home. I think it took me about 5.5 hours to get home. Debs had to come and save me, pick me up. She came in her dressing gown because she was all ready for bed. Again, trying to get cabs, forget it. They don't answer their phone, they're on holiday, or they're fully booked. Forget it. Friday night, no way, not happening. But anyway, this actually brings me really neatly to something. I've got a lovely little partnership and a discount code that I can offer you on a wonderful new product. Well, it's new to me. I've been using it for a couple of weeks because I wanted to make sure that it was just really, really gorgeous. But it's a company called Wild, and I've got my little. So this company. So this is mine. Look, I've got my name on it, because they did, and they haven't just done this specially for me. You can get personalised products, which I think is quite nice. I don't know, we all like our own, even if we don't particularly love our own names, it's nice to have something that feels personal. So this is Wild, and it's a natural deodorant, and their mission is to get rid of single-use plastics. So in here, so you turn it, you've got, oh my god, it's so lovely. You've got your sort of deodorant bar in there. And I thought it would be really hard to do, because what they do when you get this like that, and then you get a little, you know, your little deodorant thing that goes in it. So you just literally put it, it's really easy. I thought you would get it on your hands or something, you don't. But it's a fantastic product. And the weird thing about this is it's so funny how something becomes popular and it's almost in your peripheral vision, and then you suddenly realise, oh yes, Wild, you know, the company that's wants to get rid of single-use plastics, the refillable deodorant. And I met this when I first started using this, I met this young guy that I hadn't seen for years and years and years, and he was just asking me about what I was doing, and I was saying that, you know, I was telling him about my YouTube channel, and he was, oh, amazing, and then I was talking about Wild, and he said, oh yeah, I use Wild. And I thought, God, that's so random. What are the chances of that? And then he said, oh yeah, no, my girlfriend uses it as well. He said, I really sweat. No, I've got a real problem. I was thinking, okay, too much information. He said, no, I sweat so much, but it really keeps me dry. And I can, if only I had this to put all over my body on the night of the tube thing, it would have been a lot better. But it's really, really effective. And they have lots of different fragrances. So the fragrance that I have here is called Fresh Cotton and Sea Salt. And it literally smells like how you would want your room to smell if you were going into like a boutique hotel, maybe somewhere like in the Cotswolds or Suffolk or something like that. For me, it's an English smell. It's very subtle, but it's there, you know, and it's not in any way offensive at all. It's actually really lovely. Anyway, so I have a code, and it's RareBirds, and so you can either click on the little thing that's on the screen now, not click, but you know, you can put your phone and focus on it. I don't know what the word is, or there's a link in the description as well, and you'll get 20% off, and that's for all products, because this is the thing that they're really known for. But they also do lovely lip balms and shower gels as well, other products. Anyway, it's really lovely, and the case is nice. It feels very sort of durable. I kind of want to bounce it off my bicep, you know, when you throw it up and bounce it and catch it. I won't do that. I have got another one as well, but I'm actually saving this one for Poppy. Look, it's so pretty. They do these little collaborations. I think this is an Emma Bridgewater. Yeah, look, little bees. Can you see? But I'm going to give, and this one has got coconut and vanilla, which is very summery, and I think Poppy will really like that. If you're watching, Pops, close your eyes, because I'm going to send this to you. And yeah, so that's the little refill, so you never have to touch it. It's very clever. It's very, very clever. And you can have a subscription and stuff, and I just like the idea that you don't, you know, it's not adding to the plastic waste. I think that Wild have done something like, it's like, so I've saved more than 600 tons of single-use plastic waste, which is amazing. It's all natural and it's vegan. Anyway, I've hanged on for long enough, but that's it, and I think it's very cute. Do you see? And it does smell. If you like a very subtle fragrance, get it. It's gorgeous. It's really, really gorgeous, and it's nice because the only bit that you have to renew is that, you know, which is nothing, and you compare that with the plastic or the glass. Yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, today I'm going to try and I'm going to try and do a bit more kitchen, and I'm going to show you the kitchen cupboard that I've got, which is really, really nice. But I'll show it to you and then I can talk about it. But today I'm just spending the day at home. I'm not going to go out anywhere. I'm not going to do anything. I just actually want to clean. I know that's a very boring thing to say, but I actually just want to clean my house. Anyway, there we go. I will be back. Right, this is in my chaotic kind of garage studio room. But look, this is it. Hang on, let me pull it back a little bit. You see? That is it. And look, so look, what I love about it is the beautiful curve side here. And so it has 3 cupboards, like so. Yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm very, very pleased with that. I think it's just lovely, and it's going to look gorgeous. I feel like every vlog I'm starting at the moment begins in the bathroom. I've woken up literally feeling like I've been run over by a bus. I'm running a bath at the moment, actually, because sometimes I think when you're just knackered, you almost just have to go with it, don't you? I won't involve you, and I think we're all traumatised enough. I look horrific. I haven't even, moisturised, that's why I've just cleansed, because I'm going to put that sheet mask on. Such a lovely bath. I'm actually going to do my yoga. Normally I would have done my yoga before I put my makeup on, so my whole sequencing is really messed up, but that's okay. And then I'm going to show you this just lovely little table in the kitchen, which you have all seen 100 times, but I'm going to show you it properly because it's very dear. It has a very dear thing about it. It has little hooves on the bottom, which I made. So yeah, it's funny, that's just reminded me of when I was a little girl. I must have been around 8, and my friend and I were obsessed with horses, and neither of us had horses, and I could remember it must have been like autumn or winter, and there was a lot of wet, sort of muddy clay on the ground, and my friend started sort of fashioning it into a hoof. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, we can make a horse. We'll make a mechanical horse. And I remember thinking, oh my God, you're insane. Like, it would be so much easier just to get up. How are you going to make a mechanical horse? How are you? She said, no, we can. And she was like, but trying to extend this little clay hoof into something of leg, and presumably she was going to go and get the coat hanger and ram it in there. Have you ever had that with friends where you hang out with them? I mean, she was only 8, in fairness, but sometimes you see your friends in a different light and you just think, oh my God, you're actually insane. She wasn't insane, she was just a little girl. She really wasn't very smart, actually, because I mean, you can get a pony from the New Forest, which is, for those not in the UK, or back then, you could get a pony. You could, if you want a horse, you can get a horse really quite cheaply if you're not fussy about what you have. Certainly a lot easier than creating a mechanical. What is a mechanical horse? What, do you have a little gadget that you control? What, are you going to make that as well? I've always remembered it was a lesson. I don't know what it was a lesson about. Don't hang out with people who are insane. People probably say that about me all the time, so I'm not judging. But I still remember that kid, and I remember thinking, that's really not... Stop. Just stop what you're doing. I'm not even going to involve... I'm not getting my hands in the mud, because this is insanity. Anyway, I am going to... Yes, I'm going to show you the little table. It's very sweet. I've really oversold it now. I don't think I have, though, because it's very lovely. It's very French. I got it in a kind of... No, it wasn't a brocante. It was a good old-fashioned Shepton flea market. Anyway, okay, right, stop talking. Hello. It's actually days later. I want to show you this really gorgeous little plant I got. It's a little baby dahlia, and she's gorgeous. So I'm going to show you that because that's just a little moment of joy. Okay, look at her. This is the new baby. Isn't she gorgeous? Look, she's a baby, and she also has babies. Look, several babies everywhere. Little darling, look. But also, look, it's dahlia central here, because look at this one. Look at the colour of that. See that with the front door? Yeah, that's beautiful. So this has got lots of little buds. This was one that I, planted from the rhizome thing or whatever it's called, so that's exciting. So anyway, back to this one. It's just in a little plastic pot and I've just worked out where I'm going to plant it. Hello. This video is like a masterclass in sort of how not to do it, really. There's no sequencing, there's no rhythm. If I have, oh my god, start again. Okay, I've just been watching back a little bit of this video, and there are a lot of loose ends and very it appears very disorganized. And I think it really is. So I haven't been very well, but I'm feeling really quite good today. So that's good. So I'm going to pick up all the loose ends. I'm going to try and pick up all the loose ends. One of which is very unexciting. I'll just show you where I planted the the dahlia. I don't think anybody's going to care. I had an idea to plant it somewhere spectacular. It wouldn't fit in. So I've basically put it in a little pot. I'm not even going to bother showing you. There you go. There's the story to that. But so I'm meant to be doing the kitchen right now, so I'm going to do a little kitchen thing with you. I haven't forgotten about the horse's hooves. If you've just jumped in here, you can... Do you know, I do actually think I have ADHD. But I don't want, I think it's okay. It's funny because I reconnected with someone recently who knows me really well. And I said to him, do you think, I said to him, I think, maybe I've got ADHD. And I was expecting him to laugh, not because the idea was preposterous, but just because like, oh God, not you as well, sort of thing. And he didn't. He was very sweet, and he just said, yeah, maybe a little bit. So that's nice, isn't it, really? Anyway, see, now I forgot. Yeah, anyway, the reason that I wanted to just ask you something was because I am going to a garden party in August. Well, we're nearly in August, right at the beginning of August. And in fact, it's with Laura's parents. So Laura is really coming up with a good social scene-wise, I tell you. She's a great girl. Anyway, she's a woman, obviously. But I wanted to ask you about this dress. Now, this is an incredibly inexpensive dress. I think I got it maybe 2 years ago in H&M, and I think it was like 25 quid. I think I got it in the sale, 25 quid. But things I like about it are the leopard print, which I think is very lovely. I like the poofy sleeves, but it's not well cut at all. But I just wanted to ask what you think for garden party. And I've tied it because I think it's meant to just hang loose, but I think sometimes things look better cinched in. And I've put this belt with it, and I actually really quite like the madness of that mismatch, What do you think? You see, and I could maybe put on a better necklace, I don't know. But look, what do you think? So I'll wear it with, cute shoes. I don't know what those shoes are. And it's just sort of quite flowy, and I like, do you see what I mean about this completely contrasting pattern? I think it just adds something. I think better than just a leather belt. It just makes it, kind of more interesting, really, isn't it? What do you think? And I think to be honest with you, it's cotton. It's got little slits at the side, and I will probably wear it if I'm trying to think what I've got. I was just looking to see if I had any down here. So yeah, that's a possibility, isn't it? That's a possibility, but the leopard print is good, you see. I think because the colours in the leopard print just work with my skin tone, but I think it doesn't have pockets, which is a real problem. I think it could be a lot worse. And there is enough about it that I like. I also quite like that it's not a floral, because sometimes I think if you're going to a garden party, it's very likely that you'll wear floral. And I quite like not wearing floral because, I'm flying the flag for the rare birds. Oh, I can actually find it makes my heart swell. Some of you are so funny. Can I just say that? Some of you are so funny. One of you recently messaged me to say, it must have been on the theme of overreacting to things or being hyper cautious or something like that. I can't remember the context, but one of you messaged me to tell me the story of essentially how you had basically called the police because you had left the shower running. So this wonderful rare bird, she had turned the shower on to have a shower, and then obviously completely forgotten she'd done that, gone out, come home, opened the door, holy, there's someone in the shower. So first of all, quite unlikely that a burglar is going to have a shower. Quite unlikely. Just throwing that out there. Glorious rare birds. Never heard of that before. Highly unusual criminal behaviour there. And so immediately went from 0 to 100 and literally called the police. I mean, it's too good because she had left the shower on. I mean, the police would have just said, this is a rare bird. This is iconic rare bird behaviour. Well, I say it's iconic rare bird behaviour. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to show you the horse's hooves now. I'm going to keep this dress on because it won't do any harm. And therefore, I just take you into the room with me. Because basically, well, you know, don't you? So you go through here, and then the kitchen is there. So the kitchen is behind this wall here. I'm going to close that because it's probably a horrible mess. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you're all well, and you're going to come with me right now. I will not get distracted. Hello. Right, for the purposes of this video, I've turned this little table around because this is what we're going to examine. We're going to do a deep dive into the whole psychology of and ergonomic practicality of the quintessential little French table. So I'm gonna show you that right now. So I don't know why I'm sitting in front of it therefore. That's pretty dumb, isn't it? So let's move. It's also nice to have a little stool. Do you see? Sorry, just jumping in here, but one of the things I love about this table is that if you did want to just perch at it with a chum, with a coffee or a drink, you could, couldn't you? It would be good. Okay, so this is one of those classic little French tables. It is, and I will show you it more closely, but I'll tell you the story of it first of all, why I felt that I needed it. This is not a big kitchen, and there's not many, because I, in my infinite wisdom, basically ripped the kitchen out without having the resources to replace it. I sort of left myself without a kitchen really, so there is very little work surface. I suppose the work surface isn't too bad actually, but it's just all cluttered up with stuff. I don't know how people do minimalism, I just literally don't understand it. What I thought I wanted was, I needed something in the middle. Ideally, to be really honest with you, I wanted something on wheels, and I kind of still feel like I need that, and I could do that with this actually, just thinking about it. Yes, it's a very simple little table. It's just pine, it's nothing special. I got it in a flea market. I know I said that earlier. I got it at Shepton Mallet flea market. It was, I think, it was either £100 or 95 or 90, it was anyway in the region of £100. And it had obviously just been kept in a little sort of workroom or something because it had paint literally sort of just splattered over the top of it. So I got a heat gun and I took all of that paint off, and then I put this and then I finally sanded it down, because there's you don't want to sand things too much so that you destroy all of the the patina, the natural patina of age, which is just so beautiful and so hard to replicate artificially. So I took that all off, and then I put this thing on, which you sort of painted on, and it's like a non-shiny sealant, but that's food safe, because I knew that I very likely at some point I'm going to chop food directly on here. I try not to be honest with you, because it is a softwood, and so it's not like it's a butcher's block or something. But I do actually have just I'll show you. I have a lot of chopping boards as well. I really like these round ones. They make me infinitely happy. Again, these came from flea markets. I've got another one over here. I just love the lightness of them. And I love how you can see like some, that's all cracked, that doesn't matter. I love how, so therefore you can chop on them and you can also, you know, actually serve on them, which I think is like all about multitasking. Hang on. Equally, you know, so I can put bread on there or whatever, you know, I just wanted something that was food safe because it had to be, this is just a real little workhorse. So it had just this paint here, this sort of tan coloured paint is the original paint. And I thought, my God, that works so well tonally with the cinnamon that I have on the walls, literally behind the camera here. And obviously there's the sort of the cinnamony, mustardy colour in the wall there. Very tonal, just with the old floorboards as well. Yeah, so I was really pleased with that. It didn't have this had come off. So I put that back on, and it's just a really handy little drawer. But, you know, as usual, you keep some, you know, I mean, what is not in here? Sellotape, chocolate, but, you know, not bills as such, but, you know, it's one of those cupboards. There's probably like headache pills in here. Lovely lipstick. That's a nice colour, actually, isn't it? Fat, sorry, to be weird. But, God, leopard print and red is a good combo, isn't it? Yeah, maybe I should go full vamp. Full vamp. Which, I've got some on now. What colour is this? Right, I'll do that right now. But look what I just found in here. This is a beautiful piece of really textured, hardy, super hardy linen, which I actually, you know, this little unit I've got here that's got the microwave underneath it, I want to put a curtain up. Wouldn't that be so lovely? You know, that just goes so well in here. It's quite spinny though. Let me see. Yeah, it's a ticking stripe. It's called Sail Red. Susie Watson. That is very beautiful, isn't it? I also quite like the grubbiness of that colour. Because I like having things in kitchens that you just literally don't even need to worry about, don't you think? It's got to be hardy. It's got to really, really earn its keep. Yes, right. So back to the table. So this is the original colour. And I thought that just works really well. I absolutely love that. The top is just very old pine. And then you can probably see, let's bring you down a little bit. Maybe a little bit closer. Let's just see, that's the colour there. See, look, the dear little knob. I don't know if that was original or not, but I think it's very cute. So, yes, let's bring you down even further. Yeah, so very, very simple, very straight, non-circular legs, just little chunky. Again, this is just not a smart piece of furniture, and I love it for that. However, when I got it, it was a little bit short. You know, I'm 5'8", and I needed to be able to chop things and not be so it was too low, so I needed to add some height. Now, clearly, I'm not a carpenter, so I thought, how am I going to add some height to it? Now, originally I did want to put wheels on it, but the bottoms of the legs, I think, had been sort of standing in water or something like that. So they were a little bit dodgy, bit crumbly, you know. The other thing I did with it, I treated it for woodworm. I took it out in the garden. It stayed in the garden for days. I treated it for woodworm. You know, I just basically did everything that I needed to do. And then, so going back to the legs and not being able to put wheels on, couldn't put wheels on because it wasn't really stable enough. So I thought, right, okay, so how else am I going to make it taller? I can't create an invisible extension, is what I'm saying. So I thought, well, I'll have to make something that you can see. Oh, just taken the foot off. Hold on. Sorry, I nearly had an incident then because I haven't actually secured the feet. So I'm going to take one off, but I need to put that underneath. So we don't have an incident. I've taken off the lovely flowers and everything in case we have an incident. Anyway, look, do you see what I mean by horse's hoof? Now this was made with no skills whatsoever, and you're saying, yes, that is evident. But look, do you see? So it's like just a little hoof-shaped extension. And what this is, that's just a piece of wood that I had that I cut into squares, like that. The same size. And then this is a fence post. It's the top of a fence post. You know that you might then put one of those little balls on or little acorns. I got it on Amazon. And then I painted it in a very similar colour, you know? I was so pleased with that. But now what I can do, you see, if I were to glue this onto the bottom of the legs, I'm getting a carpenter to put the cupboard up for me, but he's away until the end of August. But I'm going to wait for him because he's a lovely young guy. And I might get him to do this at the same time. I could have the wheels. You see, and I would actually get really chunky, you know, where they have like a steel plate. And then that could fit into there. And then wheels that have a brake on them. That would be so cool. And then I could change it, could whiz it around. Because sometimes, you see, even with this, with you guys, with filming, sometimes it's nice to have it rotated that way. Sometimes it's nice to have it rotated this way. And socially, like at Christmas, sometimes it's just going to need to move the hell out of the way. So anyway, that was it. I was very pleased. You see? Robots are quite inventive when you need to be, aren't we? Okay, but the other thing, so I'm not finished yet. Sorry. If you need to go make a cup of tea or anything, you can go pause. But so the other thing about this is that obviously there's space underneath because you've got the little bars. Hang on. So you see, you've got the little bars here, but then there's this space in here, and I thought, well, I don't want to waste that space, particularly because I don't actually have many cupboards and things at the moment. So these are things that I found just in thrift shop. So this is just an old, I guess, what is this, zinc or aluminium, maybe, very lightweight, but I like the shape of it. It's just a little chunky thing, so I keep, what's in there, sultanas and pulses and things like that. And then this is, oh my god, it's a magnificently heavy French, I think the brand is, stock pot. It's so heavy. It doesn't have a lid. And I don't actually use it, to be honest with you, because I have my Nigella stock pot, which is the one that I would always use. And then this, crazily, just fits on top of it like that. Isn't that lovely? And that's obviously an old Matthew Rice. Yeah, I mean, it's a Matthew Rice design, I think, but for Emma Bridgewater. Yeah, so it just fits on there. And so what I do is I keep things like onions and potatoes in there, and I try not to forget they're there so they don't start smelling and turn to liquid. But yeah, so that's the story of the little table. I'll show you the top of it now. But I just cannot tell you, it has really, really added something to the kitchen. And it's given it an incredible amount of character as well. And when you think that's £100, probably with like another, I don't know, £6 to make the little horse's hooves, it's nothing, you know, and it's really, really added something. But I think I am going to put those, I'm glad that in a way doing this has reminded me that I always plan to do that, and I want to do that. I want to put the wheels on it. Yeah, let me show you these flowers. Aren't they lovely? Now these are the flowers, hang on, oops. Hold on, these were the Savoy flowers. And in a way, they kind of saved my life in an odd way, because when I was on the tube and it was literally, you know, just a billion degrees, and I'd managed to get a seat, and I had my basket, which I always have, you know, like that. And then I had this, and I put the basket on my lap, and then this kind of rocked a bit, and it went over, and all the water that was in it just poured into my lap, onto my skirt, and then it seeped through my skirt onto my legs, and then ran all down my legs. So it must have literally looked like I'd wet myself, like I was some out of control woman who just couldn't cope and had just wet herself with stress. And but actually, do you know what? No one even noticed, and it felt so good. It was so cool. It literally saved my life. It didn't do any harm to my skirt because it was just water. And I've since washed my skirt. I love that skirt. You don't even have to iron it. It's just too good. So Laura, thank you. You really saved me with that in a very, not in the way that you would imagine, but it was just so, it was so cool and it was lovely. Anyway, yeah, so that is that. And then this is just a little dahlia. She's getting a bit... Oh, this is the thing I found. So I recently bought some tea lights, and I wanted to keep them in the living room because that's where I use all the tea lights and everything, and I wanted something nice to put them in. I thought it'd be nice to have something nice to put them in. So while I was cleaning that out earlier on, and I found this that I bought ages ago. How perfect is that? And in that room as well, the colours. Well, this sort of colour I just always think works everywhere. So I'm going to, yes, it's even hinged. So I'm going to keep my tea lights in there. And then I'm literally going to keep that on the coffee table. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Great. It's just, oh, I love that colour. Oh, speaking of a colour or a colour quite like this, that you might describe as like a bronze green, I'm going to link a YouTube video, and I think it might be a Sunday Times style one. It's quite short. Oh my God, it's this young guy, supremely talented. He was an artist and now he's an interior decorator. Well, I think he studied art. So he does a lot of his own paintings. He paints some of his furniture. He's got this little cottage, which I think is owned by Matthew Rice. Isn't that weird? It is utterly, utterly exquisite. You will, I promise you, you will love it. He's even done like, it's very maximalist. It's very quirky, but it is breathtakingly beautiful. I mean, it's a rental, but he has spent a very large sum of money on that property, but he spent his money very well because it's absolutely stunning. But I can't remember his name or what it's called or anything, so I'm literally going to link it in the description to this video. So I'm also linked in the description to this video is the wild loveliness, which I hope you will like as well. And my code for that is rarebirds. I don't know why I'm repeating that. I don't need to do that. I haven't been asked to do that. While it's in my head, I wanted to. But yeah, this just made me think of that guy because this would fit into his vibe very well. Because it's very eclectic. In fact, this and also my belt I feel would fit into his vibe very well. I don't think he's got any leopard print, but he kind of should have. It would be great. Anyway, I think that's it. I think I won't do the cooking thing. Or maybe I will. What time is it? Maybe no. I'm going to do this little cooking thing, which is, it's more like a fantastic pre-prepped. It is actually meat, but it would work extremely well with tofu as well. I haven't tried it with tofu, I just know it would work so well. It would probably work really well with aubergines too. Anyway, I'm going to show you, it's a Granger. I'm not going to do it while I'm sitting on the floor, so I'm going to get up and I will show you that. And then I'll also just explain about the wall cupboard. Just so you know, behind me, nothing's changed with the wall cupboard. As I said earlier, it's this young guy called Jordan, and he's just really great. I really like him very much. He was the one who put, the shelf on the crazy wall. He put that shelf up and he did it so beautifully, and that was not an easy job. So I just trust him, and I'm going to wait for him to put that kitchen cupboard up.
because as I say, it's really heavy. Right, so I will be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm back. A few hours later, just been out. It's raining. I'm actually so grateful that it's raining. Now, can you see me okay? That is the question. I think I'm going to bring you a little closer. Yeah, I think that that's okay, isn't it? I think that that is okay. So, before I do anything, I'm just going to put my tea lights in here. So that's a little joyful thing. Here we go. Here we go. It's very happiness inducing. Literally all fit in there, maybe bar one. So that one can go in here. Oh, that's joyful. Joyful. Okay, great. Great. Let's get rid of that. Now, the recipe that I'm going to share with you is this one by Bill Granger. Now, I can already hear my younger son, Alex, mocking me because, so this is Bill's Everyday Asian. He was such a talented man. I know he died a couple of years, quite recently, didn't he? I don't know how long it was. Anyway, such a talented man. And this hoisin chicken, yeah, hoisin chicken with a celery salad is literally one of the most delicious things you could eat. And as I said earlier, I think it would work really well with tofu. The nice thing about is that you can do what I'm about to do with it, which is I'm going to make a load of it. I'm going to basically marinate it, and then I'm going to literally freeze some portions because Sophie and her family are coming to stay for a little while, so it'll be one meal that's just done ready in the freezer, and then I can just take it out and then cook it in the oven, and it's all lovely. You get all the cooking smells, deliciousness. But I'm going to also cook some for myself, probably a double portion for myself. I will have some tonight, and then what I will do, which I will have hot with like lentils and something, but then the other portion I will keep just to tear into strips and have like with a salad, because that Asianness is just so gorgeous, and it's really, really easy to make, and it's not expensive. And it's in case I didn't show you, it's this book, Bill Granger's Everyday Asian, and it's just really beautiful. Like, it's isn't that lovely, the back cover? The front cover I just showed you is very very faded. But I have bought this, I think I've bought this recipe, this cookery book, maybe 3 times. Because I definitely have bought it for Soph, I've definitely bought it for Alice, and I think one more as well. But I should buy it for Alex. In fact, Alex, this will be your Christmas present. I will teach you to laugh. The reason that he laughs, which is totally, I totally get it. When the children say they like something, I will then basically make it on repeat forever. So they're almost afraid to say, because when you have a big family, so I've been making this for years, when you have a big family, it's very rare that everyone likes something. So when they do, you just make it and make it and make it. And I first had this years ago, a girlfriend made it for me, and I just thought it was absolutely mind-blowingly delicious. So, and in fact, then more latterly, I think that Soph's partner, Andy, made the mistake of saying how much he loved it, and so every time he comes I make it for him, which is exactly what's happening now, you see. So I can't help myself, but also it's easy and you don't really have to think about it, and it's delicious, and it's only one meal as well. And as I say, you can do it different ways. So you could have it with, as part of a salad or whatever. It's just really, really yummy. Okay, so we are going to make a start. So, of course I haven't. In fact, I'm going to stop and then get all the stuff out that I need. Okay, it was all going so well, but I have enraged myself because one of the really key things you need here is Chinese 5-spice powder, absolutely essential. And I bought quite a big bag of it because I use it a fair amount, and it's just literally disappeared. But I think I'm going to, for the sake of this little presentation. I'm just going to pretend that I've got it, okay? And then I might just see if I can make it up from other ingredients. I'll look up what's in it. Okay, so right, so the chicken thighs. I'm not going to bother giving you any measurements here because I've actually doubled this up myself just for my own purposes. So, and I will, in fact, I think I've already found a link for the recipe. So the link is going to be in the description. And then I'll also link to the book in case you want to get it. It's probably still and things. So, okay, so it's chicken thighs, and it's chicken thighs without the bone or the skin. So it's literally, I won't show you because you know what they look like. And then in here, I have hoisin sauce, Chinese chili sauce, grated ginger, 3 garlic cloves. Sorry, look, there's the grated ginger. It's all beautifully done. Didn't grate my fingers. Garlic cloves, crushed. And then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Damn, sorry, I thought I'd done this, but I haven't. So in fact, yeah, I'm doubling up, so I'm going to do, well, not quite. Maybe I'm doubling up. So I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, yummy. And then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So that's actually 4 tablespoons that I need. Okay. And I think actually that will probably be about right. See, these things are just brilliant. You get every drop. And that was a horrible old lemon as well. I just wanted to get rid of. Okay, so let's just give this a stir, like so. Yeah. Right, so just pretend that I put the Chinese 5-spice powder in because that is absolutely essential. Just be sure. Yeah, that's very weird. Very weird. Okay, so now I will pour this into the chicken. Like so. So you can see it's pretty, obviously not ideal ingredients because I imagine that hoisin sauce has got a lot of sugar in it. But you're not eating this food every day of the week and it's just so delicious. It's really, really good. It's really good. Right, so I've just literally stirred that round like that. So what I would do now with that, normally, under normal circumstances, if I was just cooking it like a normal person to serve, say, that evening or at lunchtime, I would marinate that for as long as you can, really, because it's always a good thing. By the way, when I was stirring it round, I did that so that the chicken thighs opened up, because they're kind of rolled. So you want every bit of it to be covered. So I will show you just there. I'm sorry for those of you who don't eat meat, that's very horrible. But so at this point, you would probably, if you were doing it with tofu, obviously you just, be marinating the tofu. And then, so what I would do now is I'm keeping some of this back, so I will literally just put that into freezer bags and then put it in the freezer. The great thing about using chicken thighs as well is it's really great to calculate portions for people, super easy. So that will go in there. And then what I'm keeping for myself, I will just, to have tonight, I will use one of my cute little things and I will just literally put however many I want. I'll put them in here with the sauce and then you just cook it in the oven as per the instructions. Okay, so that's that. So we're going to move this out of the way. Now the really important thing is that you have the greens with this. So in actual fact, probably tonight, because I had quite a big lunch, I will probably just have that chicken with the vegetables and the dressing, and the dressing is just so good. I'm begging you have to make it. I'm going to just read it out to you, okay? Because I don't think you need to see it. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and cook this, and then I'll just take a nice little video or a nice little photo of the finished plate, just so you can see how lovely it looks. Although, do you know what, I should just show you that. But anyway, so mine won't look as nice as this, because things never do. But do you see? Isn't that gorgeous? Really lovely on that blue plate, actually, isn't it? Anyway, so that's it. And this is the, basically you can put any greens you like, but I would suggest that you put in the celery batons, because there's something about the watery crunch of the celery in with it. It's just amazing. So here is the string beans and celery, and you just basically blanch the string beans, let them cool slightly, mix them with the celery, and then while the whole thing is still slightly warm, you put the dressing on so that the vegetables kind of really absorb it, and then you sprinkle it with sesame seeds. So I'm just going to tell you what the dressing is, just because I need you to just know how delicious. So it's literally 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar, 2 teaspoons of honey, and then you've got your green beans and the celery sticks. So I don't have any green beans, so I'm going to be doing mine. I still have the celery sticks, but I'll be doing mine with broccoli, and it will be delicious. So anyway, I hope that that's been helpful. I will do the finale for you, and I will show you later on. But I'll probably finish this, well in fact I will finish this video here, and I hope that it's been okay. So you can see the cupboard still is as is, but the new one will basically go exactly where this is. So even this bit will come out, because what I'm going to do is underneath that cabinet, I'm just going to put little hooks. So this one actually will be clear, which I think will be a good thing. This bit here needs to be updated because it's literally falling apart and very old and unseemly, but yeah, I don't think it matters. I mean, it's fine, it works, and I have a sink and everything. So yeah, that is it. Thank you all very much for watching, and yeah, maybe if you enjoyed this, will you share my video with a friend? And in case any of you don't know how to share, I think I'm correct in saying but when there are 3 dots, and if you click on those 3 dots, one of the options will be to share. So if you have any friends that you think would like to watch my videos, that would be really lovely. And thank you so much for watching. It's so good, sort of savoury and sweet. Now here, just imagine I'm sprinkling on some sesame seeds, then it gives a little crunch and it looks really pretty. So there they go, they're going sprinkling on because I don't have any. But look, wait. I also have and then also some nice spread for the morning. And thank you so much for watching. And that's it. Yummy. Yummy porridge bread, God, fresh from the oven. Okay, that's good stuff, isn't it? Can you see it's steaming? Okay, thank you for watching.